Welcome to the Old Ways for the New Age podcast, where we weave the threads of traditional living into the tapestry of modern day life. I'm Hannah Forrest, a herbalist and naturopath with a deep love for plants, seasons, and the quiet rituals that shape how we live and care for ourselves. This podcast is an invitation to slow down and reconnect with the wisdom of the natural world through herbal medicine, folklore, seasonal living, ritual, astrology, and simple earth-honoring practices that can be gently folded into everyday life. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. I wish to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which I live and record, the Wandjarabara people. I honour their enduring connection to the lands, waters, and communities, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. I also extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Always for the New Age podcast. I am so excited to be bringing you a brand new segment today. So you may know we've just started Star Notes recently, which is your monthly Astro Witchy forecast with Michaela Rachel from Star Witch Astrology, but I'm also introducing a less formal, more casual segment called Kitchen Table Chats. And because we're all about hearth witchery here, tending the hearth and just keeping things cozy, this is more of a place where I can have informal chats and just, casual moments with you guys, share more personal details, and also just about my own experience and my friends' experiences with their craft. And so today we have a very highly requested guest. Everybody has been waiting for this moment because it's been a minute since Ellene has been on here, but I have Ellene from what is now Temple of Ellene. So welcome back, Ellene, and thank you for being on the very first Kitchen Table Chats episode.
Thank you for having me. I feel very special. Also, who is the whole two people that are requesting me?
No, every time I ask, you also request yourself. I didn't actually get to share your...
I don't know what you're talking about. That's
I didn't get to actually share your answer to my question box the other day because, I don't know, it was a chaotic couple of weeks. If you were watching my Instagram, my car broke down and just all these things happened in a very short space of time. And that was all before Mercury even went into retrograde. So I didn't even get to share that, but people request you every time I ask, and they really enjoy your episodes. And some of my episodes with you are still some of the most listened to episodes. The one that we did together about ancestral work, people really loved.
That was a good one. Yeah, fair enough, guys. Keep requesting me.
And so we've got quite a lot of new followers kind of on the podcast, new subscribers, people who are listening. And so for people who don't know who you are, would you like to introduce yourself? Because
Sure.
I think it's time that you have a bit of a reintroduction, also because your business has evolved as well.
Yeah, everything's got a bit of a glow up. So if you're listening to the old episodes, you would have heard me introduce myself as Ellene New Age naturopath. And I would always say naturopath by trade, witch by nature. And now the witch by nature is just really the whole star. I'm not hiding behind the naturopathy title anymore. Fully out of the witch's closet. Here I fucking am. What do? I am an energetic business strategist. I help women in business, I help women in life to really align themselves, their work, and everything about them into overflow, as well as just when you come to me, I will see the picture of you of where, I'm not going to say where you should be, that's rude, where you absolutely could be. So your potential, so to speak, for lack of a better term. It's your higher self that I'm seeing. And my job is to get you from where you are to her as soon as possible, but going through all the things that we need to go through. So yeah, if that made sense, that's what I do.
Yeah. And I actually was having a chuckle to myself because your episodes are also my only explicit episodes. They get flagged every time. They're the only ones that thing goes E next to it.
It's E for Ellene. It's fine. It's not explicit. It's E for Ellene.
And you and I met 2017. So
you're going to say 27 years ago. I'm almost passed out because I can't do maths for the life of me.
No, but I'm sure it'll get there. But 2017, so that's 9 years ago. So that's almost a decade. we've known each other now, but it kind
Yeah.
of felt like we'd known each other forever from the start. You officiated my wedding, like, I don't know, very soon after I met you. And yeah, like we've just been stuck with each other ever since. And I think it's so fun because we've been able to grow together on our path and, like, you know, grow our businesses and both kind of head more down the witchy kind of esoteric, energetic path,
Yeah.
which was, I think, bound to happen. It just was destiny. And so, yeah, for those of you who are now tuning in, now you know who Ellene is. You can definitely go check out her business. And as per usual, I should talk about this at the end, but considering you've done a whole thing, I always put the links in the show notes so everybody can go and have a listen, have a check out of your stuff. You've got cool reels and you've just got, just redesigned your website. It's beautiful. So everyone can go have a play. Highly recommend her pendulum clearings. Do you still do pendulum clearings?
Yeah, I do my one-off sessions, and everything that I need to do just gets lumped into that. Even the containers that I'm running for energetic business strategy in whatever form they come to, I'm still doing pendulum work. I'm still doing cards. I'm like literally everything comes in. Anything necessary comes in. Flower essences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
And so today we're actually here to talk about something quite witchy. Just to kick off this new series, we're going to talk about a topic that I personally, in my own life, have been ruminating on as the Capricorn that I am, where I have to do all of the research and like mentally prepare myself and way overthink absolutely everything about it before I actually do anything. And so this is what's nice about having Ellene, English, as a part of my life, because she's really good at just doing stuff without overthinking it. Whereas I like way overthink. Well, okay, you overthink some stuff.
No, but it's like when it comes to this, if it comes into my field, it has to be done immediately. Like,
yeah,
it will drive me insane if there's anything to slow down that feeling that it's here. I have to deal with it now. I will not rest. I will tear the house apart until I have finished it.
Yes, and that's where we are different, because I am like, okay, an idea has come through, and sometimes it depends on the context. Sometimes I will act on it straight away, but more often than not, I will then spend 6 to 18 months researching before I do it or buy something or whatever it is. And so this is my way of actually giving myself a kick up the butt and going, just try, because like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Okay, I try again.
See, I feel like when you say that, what's the worst that can happen? Like, a hole will fall through the bloody floor or something like that.
Okay, well, let's give them the context, because I haven't even given them the topic yet, but it's money balls. So what's the worst that can happen? Well, actually, we don't even want to go there, because I guess I could really screw up my whole financial system, I suppose. But, we're going to go with not. And so we're here to just talk about it. We're here to talk about money balls, I guess, money magic, wealth magic, people that we think are really good at this kind of stuff. Ellene has worked with money balls before, so her experience, and maybe things that we would want to include, things that I'm going to include, ideas that I have about it. So let's just jump right in. With all of that intro. And but this is what I'm so excited for with Kitchen Table Chats, is I feel like it should be really unfiltered and just really raw. I may not even edit anything out this time. And
I don't care if you do or you don't. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting there editing. I'd just be doing it.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of it. And I hope that, I know people really like solo episodes, which always makes me laugh, because I'm like, wait, you want to listen to me just talk by myself about something? But I'm going to do these as solos and with guests. So, and it's just more personal. So you really get to, get a feel for who we are, and just a little less scripted. So let's hear about your Moneyball experience. Why did you do it? What did you do? Did it work? And I've got some tea in my slug mug for anyone who's watching on YouTube or Substack. It's raining and the slugs are out, so is the slug mug.
It's so cute. That was such a good purchase. Money balls. Look, I think it's literally dealer's choice, which I'm sure the diehard witches will come at me. But hear me out. Hear me out. Because money is not like a hard and fixed thing. we've got fiat money, cash, and we're like, oh, we want more of that. But money is now digital. Money is in so many different forms. Gold prices are through the fucking roof. Silver went from like nothing to crazy and it's plummeted again. Ask me how I know, because my husband has been reading the charts and it's all over the friggin' news, and here I am. So your money bowl can kind of look like whatever money needs to look like for you. Whatever you associate with wealth financially is what this can be. Now, there's so much nuance to this, because after Hannah asked me to have this chat, I actually called one of my colleagues and I was like, have this out with me before I get on the body and sound insane. And the amount of nuances that we came up with was crazy, because there's so many reasons why maybe money hasn't come to you as yet. Maybe there's a misalignment within your business, within your relationship. Energetically, maybe you're not at that point where you can actually hold and receive it. Maybe you can receive a heap of it, but it falls right out through your pockets. And when you're making the money bowl, the energy behind what you're actually creating needs to be sound. You don't want to be making a money bowl being like, I need money, because you're going to be pulling in so much need. You're going to get more bills. You're going to get more stress. You're going to just be sitting in that needing and waiting energy. When you want to be like, cha-ching, like, I got it all going on. That's what you want. So if you've got any, I guess, nervous system response to what money means, what it looks like to have money, how it feels to have money, it sounds ridiculous. We're talking about money bowls. I'm like, deal with that first.
Yeah.
And maybe work on like an abundance bowl, being like sitting in more of a neutral energy, being like, all right, I'm going to make a bowl to bring in more abundance. Because money and wealth, unless you're sitting in the right energies, are not going to find you anyway.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure. And I like the idea of sorry, my voice. I like the idea of an abundance bowl instead of a money bowl, because you're right, there is a distinction between the two. And abundance can look like anything too. So, we talk about abundance in terms of food and just like those kind of essentials. And we talk about abundance in terms of fertility. We talk about abundance in terms of all of the things.
Stuff I get so much free
This is
stuff.
true. Ellene does. But also, I'm going to say part of that. So with part of this is like, I feel like kind of part of what you just mentioned delves a little into, and I guess it is in general, like manifestation territory. And I guess you could say that a money bowl is a form of manifestation in the very literal sense. Like I'm trying to manifest literally more money in my pocket or what have you.
It's a tangible thing that you're creating. It becomes a focal point for that.
And like with manifestation, we talk about inspired action. And so Ellene is incredibly good with the inspired action of just asking for what she wants. She just asks. And that's a great lesson I've learned from you over the years, is just asking. And it's gotten me so much further. And look, we probably ask in different ways about different types of things.
Oh, definitely.
You were like, can I please have a computer for 50% off? And I'm kind of like, could I, could you come on as a guest on my podcast, please, pretty please? Yeah. So slightly different things, but it is that inspired action nonetheless. And so, these kind of money bowls, abundance bowls, it is that inspired action towards our goal, and knowing kind of where you are in your headspace with money, your relationship with money and wealth and abundance. That's a really crucial point. So thank you for mentioning that.
That's okay. But sometimes it's the word money that gives you that nervous system reaction, right? Because we've got so many connotations to what money is, what it means. There's, tall poppy syndrome in Australia, where it's like, oh, lucky for them that they got all this. It's like luck had nothing to friggin' do with it.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got this whole like, oh, the underdog and the battlers. That's the person you want to aspire to. No, it's not. No one wants to be the underdog. Everyone wants to be the top dog. So you've got to kind of just work with the energy of what it is. So if the word is money that's giving you that sort of response, then, or reaction, I guess, then maybe look at the word wealth, look at the word prosperity, look at the word abundance, and shift it into a slightly different energy line so that it actually feels really nourishing when you're making it, rather than, oh, I hope this works, I hope it works, I hope it works. And then you're just giving the bowl anxiety. You don't need to manifest more anxiety. It's too much.
And yeah, like that's also looking back at your childhood. Like, you know, I know my husband definitely has some work to do around like that concept of not having enough. And that's like root chakra stuff, right? Like that base chakra fear of never
And
having
sacral.
enough.
Like
Yeah.
very, very, very sacral. So money and sex, they're scissor sisters. They love each other.
Oh, God.
Um,
What
you're gonna edit that
what
out?
an analogy. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Enjoy
No
the
editing,
editing
no editing.
process. But it's literally like sex, money, and power.
Yeah.
Those things go together beautifully. There's no gaps in between. If you have a terrible sex life, I'd be surprised if your wallet and bank account is full. Um, and I don't mean like if you're not having sex with multiple people. I mean your own personal sex life, whatever that looks like. If that is all feeling good and juicy in all the ways that it's supposed to, then you'll also have this beautiful abundance around money and a really balanced sort of energy. But then you have the other side of the coin, where it's like, love me a pun.
Oh my God.
Where it's like if you're giving out all of that sexual energy and you're not being valued and you're not valuing yourself, then you have the other sort of drain issue there as well. So balance is really, really key. And look, again, this whole topic is just about a bowl that we're supposed to be manifesting money. I know I went to some different places, but
you know what? I feel like
nuances.
This is totally, and I think that's what makes you and I different in our practice as well, even as naturopaths. Is kind of, and that's why I still offer naturopathy, but you know, now I kind of call it intuitive naturopathy. That's the best kind of name I could come up with, because we kind of look at things from all angles and we're creative in our solutions. So like, you know, this is just an example. It's kind of irrelevant to a money bowl, but anyway, we're going there. You know, I asked you about like an easily digestible way for somebody to get more iron into their system when they couldn't tolerate iron supplements, and you were like, boil amaranth leaves and drink it. And so like it's just creative, right? Like it's a creative way of looking at things, and I guess that blends in beautifully with witchcraft as well, or lends itself beautifully to witchcraft, because the more creative you can be around it, I think the more effective your practice is, because
Absolutely.
you know, infusing parts of yourself into it is important. So what did you do for a money bowl? Like, could you give me the setup? What did you?
Yeah. I went to the op shop and I found myself a beautiful bowl, not intended for this purpose, but I just happened to find it. And it has peacock like feathers and stuff like engraved or whatever on it. It's sitting right there. It's very pretty. I would pick it up, but I'll drop it, and I don't want to do that. So that I gave it a really good wash, cleansed the water and everything to really give everything a whatever that is, energetic. Yeah, that's the one. And my setup is, rather than, some people use sand, some people use rice, some people do what I did was clear crystal quartz, like tiny little chips, like the little chip ones. I had a whole stack of them, so that's pretty much the whole base. Either a candle or I think I've got a citrine. I think it's a citrine. Yeah, I've got a citrine sphere that goes in the middle. Shapes are important for some people. Obviously, the point is very, very specific. A round one. I liked the round energy because it felt like it was radiating out, so that's why I went that way. And then I put the particular crystals that I worked with, which were pyrite, which my money bowl has been separated and cleansed at the moment. So here's some of my beautiful crystals. I've got pyrite, again, more citrine, golden topaz. I think there was some jade in there as well. And what else was going on in there? Oh, and water. This was actually something that I've always got going on in the room. But something that my colleague Carly was saying about earlier was, you know, money works very much like water, which is such a good point. So 10 points to Carly, House of Ambrosia, for that one. So having something like a little moving water fountain, because you want the energy to be moving. You don't want it to be stagnant. That's disgusting. And finding the wealth corner of either your room that you're working in or the wealth corner of your house and setting it up there. It's essentially, you can set up an altar, you can set up a money bowl. It's just another addition. I have 2 money bowls. I have one for myself personally, and I have one for the business, because why not have as many avenues getting money as possible? Also, keeping in mind that the money has to come from somewhere, and it's not your business to know how the money's going to come to you. But if you're asking for more money, you might get a shit ton more hours at work. You might get an inheritance.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you could win the lotto, and I hope that that's the case. But yeah, the money has to come from some sort of avenue. But it could, my favorite one would be, the government has done the wrong amount of tax, and now you just get buckets of tax back. That would be like the ultimate, great. I'd love it. So yeah, that's very simple. The additions that you can do, I know some people use like an oil. They make an oil. I've done that in the past. Gold. Sorry, completely forgot.
Yeah.
I've got gold jewelry. I'll chuck my ancestors or my gold and stuff in there and have that as so anything that represents abundance to you as an individual, money, wealth, prosperity, whatever the word is that you're using, chuck that in there. Herbs and spices I love to use as well. Hasn't been a part of the most recent one, but the last one had cloves, cinnamon, basil, and mastika, which is very specific to me and my culture, which is another thing that I think is really important for people to look at, because say what, the ancient Chinese would sort of work with as prosperity might be completely different from, say, your English Celts and all the rest of it. So what resonates with you within yourself and your culture, there's no wrong things. Play with it. And also see what happens. Find out.
I knew you were going to say that. It's like take a shot every time Ellene says fuck around and find out. We could turn that into a real game.
I'm here for it.
Or just the F word in general. But then we'd all be on the floor. So did you cast a circle? Did you set the space in some way, or did you do it at a significant time, like a liminal time or a day of the week or a moon? Or
that's a great question, and you absolutely could do all of that. Did I do any of that? No, I did not. Okay. I think probably a good day to do it if you're going to work with the planets would be like a Jupiter day, which I think is Thursday. Yep. I do it when the energy is loudest for me to do it. So that pull that I get to go create something, and if it's the money goal, then that's when I'm doing it. So if that's at bloody 9:00 at night on a bloody weekday, or if that's whenever, that's when I do it. If I do it out of, today is Wednesday and it's this exact time, and then go and do it, it's going to feel clunky. It's not going to feel as flowy for me. And again, money and flow, that's what I like to tap into.
Righto. And I knew that was probably going to be your answer.
It's pretty much how I do everything in life. So yeah.
And how have you felt like it's worked out for you in the different iterations that it's had? Was there something that was like a standout for you that you thought worked really well, or are you still trying to tweak it and figure out what's working best for you?
I kind of don't put too much pressure on it. I think that's the other thing, is not to like create it and now be like, all right, work. It's like, this is the energy that I'm setting. This is what I'm going to allow it. I'm just going to have an open mind and allow it to do whatever it needs to do. So again, if you are setting up something for abundance and prosperity or wealth, what does that actually mean and look like to you? Because that's the ways that you're going to be able to receive it. So if you have expectations that it's going to be money, but all of a sudden you get a voucher for 50 free massages, like you're like, God damn it, I'm going to be the most relaxed, stressed person in the world. Like you've got to find that balance there. So for me, I set and forget type of thing. But the thing I need to get better at, something that I'm definitely not amazing at, is the refreshing. So I'm at the moment of refreshing, but making sure that you're adding energy to it. You're not just going, all right, do your thing, and then you never touch it again. Like add money to it. Like every now and then go past. And once you've added money to it, I don't love to take it out while it's in in that present session.
Iteration.
Yeah. I'm just like, what is the word? So when you're ready for the refresh, refresh the money.
Yeah.
And also too, the other point is, like, if you're working with deities, you'll need to know what offerings for those wealth gods and deities that you're using or that they need. But also, as I say that, you don't necessarily need to go out and purchase a bucket full of things to now do a money bowl properly. Like, I'm sure you have a bowl in your house somewhere. I'm sure you have, if you don't have, the crystals, you'll have rice.
Yeah.
Rice works beautifully, and you can turn it into money rice. I'm sure there's 50 different places that you could Google. Some people actually go and buy money rice, which, no judgment, but it's rice. You can do it.
What is is it already dyed green? Is that the idea?
Usually it's colored. Yeah, you can get a few different colors. Green's like the most, I think, prominent one that I've seen, but I believe that there is a ceremonial type process to go along with it.
Interesting.
Again, if you're needing to have that external sort of third party do that work for you, by all means. And there's some beautiful practitioners that do provide it. But also, if you are low on money and you are wanting to generate more money, don't go and bankrupt yourself for a money bowl when you've got herbs and spices in the pantry.
Be a bit ironic, wouldn't it?
Look, again, I used to work at a metaphysical store, so that's what people would do, is they would be like, they would read a book and be like, I need to do a love jar, or I need to do a money bowl. And then they would go and just bankrupt themselves at the store.
Yeah.
Okay, but are we missing the whole point here? So yeah, you have herbs and spices in the pantry. You've got a bowl somewhere in your house. You'll have rice, sand, crystals, whatever. Even perfume. Like, you can, if you don't have all the essential oils and bits and pieces, whatever.
Yeah, especially if you're the kind of person that, like, maybe you have you like, nice quality things, and you have a perfume that to you feels like wealth and feels like success by your definition, then you could totally spray perfume on it, that perfume, and or have like the bottle there
than your skin.
Well, it could be an essential oil perfume, but yes, probably not. I saw, so in all of my months of research, because this is going on a few months now.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. Why are you surprised? Seriously, I started researching this like a year ago. And I've listened to several podcasts on it. I don't know why you're shocked. Like, do you know how long? I send you links and I'm like, I don't know which jumper to buy. You know what I'm like. I'm the absolute opposite of like an impulse shopper most of the time, unless it's chocolate. And then I'm quite impulsive. But, or like good quality organic food. That's my weakness. But in terms of like purchases, I researched this for so long. I wait for a sale, I miss the sale, I wait for the next sale. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I started researching this probably like a year ago. I mean, money bowls, we haven't even defined what exactly they are, but I think you're getting the picture. A money bowl is basically a bowl. It's a ritual bowl that you use to call in money, finances, wealth, abundance, whatever it is that you're looking for. And what I do like about it is that most people I see who do it, it is more of that like living meditation. Like, it's kind of all like constant evolving devotional practice where you do infuse it with energy regularly. You do light candles with it regularly. You refresh it kind of, I would say probably at least twice a year. Usually people will either do it with the Sabbats or the seasons, so like, quarterly, something like that. But that's kind of what it is. And I've just been thinking, hey, I've never done one and I would like to do one. And then you would think that Ellene's thinking, well, that's as simple as it is. I'm a Capricorn first daughter. What do you mean? And so one thing I looked at, because I think I talked about it in a Substack post not that long ago. Maybe it was the one where it was actually, maybe it wasn't, no, it was a podcast episode. It was the Nuance of the New Year one, I think. And I was talking kind of about like New Year rituals and things like that. And I did read somebody was talking about doing one in a jar. So there was a blog I found online, a blog post, and they're talking about using like an old jam jar or something and making it in a jar. And I believe they actually sat it on the windowsill so that it was like solar infused. And also in the kitchen, which was like, is the hearth of the home in a lot of places, not every home. But, that's kind of like this energetic center of the home. And so, I think it's all about kind of how things resonate with you. And also there's like that really strong belief that's needed for magic, right? Like I know a lot of people call it the magic mind. So you have to be able to slip into that magic mind and also like believe it with every core of your being. So if you're doing stuff that you're like, oh, this seems a little frou-frou, or it seems like unrealistic, or I don't really like that, but that's what the recipe says, or the ritual says in the book, then I'm just going to do it like that. That's probably not going to work as well for you because your heart isn't in it. Your magical mind isn't believing it. It's not programming within your body in the way that it kind of needs to be successful. So I also really like that we were talking about inspired action. And then I was talking before we started recording about a guy called the Antly Crown on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
love him.
Really into that page at the moment, really love the content. And they not actually, I haven't checked in with that, but did a Money Bowl reel, which I really enjoyed. But also his most recent one today was which in witchcraft a lot of people say intention is everything. And you know what? I think I've said stuff like that before. You probably have too. Have you seen the reel I'm talking about?
No, but I also know that like your diehard witches will be like, don't fucking come at me with the intention is everything, which I completely respect. I'm a little bit more slap happy, but yeah.
Well, but that's not kind of where I'm going with it. So the reel was like, he's like, people say intention is everything. And then he goes, so I baked you a cake. And then he shows the cake tin and the ingredients sitting there. He's like, I meant to do it. The intention was there.
The intention was there.
But basically he's saying with that, like, yeah, it's great to have the intention and it is important. Like, again, that magical mind, that belief that it's going to work, the belief in what you're doing, being able to see the possibility of something actioning, but then also you have to do, so doing what I'm doing where you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good. You actually have to do things.
Yeah.
And so, I loved that he used a copper bowl. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, nice.
He used green rice, coins, and sigils, and a prosperity oil, and candles, and the color green in general.
Something else I forgot to mention is if you've got a massive thing for tarot or oracle for that matter, then using that as part of your practice with it as well. So if you want to use the Ace of Pentacles or just go through whether it's the High Priestess, however you want to get this money with the energy you want to anchor in with, working with the tarot works really, really well as well. So I love that because the sigils, the candles, the coin down the bottom, all of that is like, that's what's relevant to him in his practice.
Yeah.
I love his stuff.
Sigils is another thing I've been researching for like 6 years. So I know how to do them. I just get in my head about it. Guys, help. That's
not where you need to be with it. You need to be in the magic mind with it.
I know. There's lots of things on my list. I want to, this is getting out of the wealth thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Michaela Rachels, who does our Star Notes episode, she was talking about planting hydrangeas outside your door for protection, and I thought that was really cool. And she does sigils and chalk up her stairs, and I was like, you know what? That sounds great. So that's probably like my next move is I'm going to do some sigils around my doorway. And then I think I might do some money sigils because why not? If I'm going to do this money bowl, I think why not just like habit stack, ritual stack, and like try a couple things for the first time all at once. So I'm thinking for mine, I do want to do a bowl, I think. Just stop laughing at me.
It's that I'm thinking of. Here's
my plan. Here's my 6-step plan.
Just go and do it. And on the actual day that you're feeling called to do it, just chuck shit in there that is going that resonates.
I'm explaining it though for the people listening who might be interested. Yeah. That's why I'm running through. I'm thinking of doing a bowl. I'm thinking of doing coins, but one thing that I was kind of thinking of because I thought you might find this interesting and or have opinions on it. Because I've not seen anybody do this. I'm sure they do though. But you and I both having businesses that kind of are international businesses. So like we're not confined to Australia. We kind of work with people all over the world. So I was like, I know I have some Canadian coins. We probably have some American coins. I'm sure I could find a coin from New Zealand. They float around. They make the rounds here. Whether I incorporated multiple currencies into my money bowl to try to call in. Oh, you do? You do that already?
Yeah, definitely. Because you want to pull money from everywhere, and because we've gone traveling a fair bit, we've got money from all the different places. So all of it goes a part of it. Also, not so much a credit card, because credit cards freak me out because I'm just too forgetful and not great with numbers. I was like, ugh. But like, I'll put like not my old bank cards, I'll put my current bank cards when I'm at work, just like my work one, in the money bowl, because I'm like, fill this up while you're at it too.
Yeah.
Like, this is where money comes in, it's where it goes out. I want that to be nice and full and abundant, because again, money isn't just cash anymore, it's digital.
And I hadn't ever really considered that and hadn't seen anybody mention it in all of my research. Because
I didn't research it, I just did it.
It's a good point. Like, that's the way that things are at the moment. Like, there's a lot of digital currency.
You don't usually get paid in cash anymore. So although I use it because I want to pull from international sources, my money is all coming through digital. I'm not opposed to cash if anyone wants to pay me cash. It'll make that very, very clear for everyone listening. Give me cash. But also, if I've got people in Italy, I've got people in England and everywhere else, and it's like, well, yeah, digital.
Yeah. And like, I guess if you didn't want to put like a bank card in there, you could also do things like writing a list of the countries kind of, in the way that you would do things you want to call in or things you want to release.
Souvenirs but just like that you've gotten from those countries.
Yeah, well, I was thinking if you wrote stuff down, even like mantras or just intentions that you are looking for, you could sit it underneath the rice at the bottom of the bowl. And have everything on top of it. That would be really cool. And I love that you used all quartz crystal, because quartz is obviously a magnifying stone. So the fact that you use like all quartz chips as your kind of base.
My bed.
Yeah. And I think the rice is good. That is its roots are quite in the traditional Chinese side of things, I think.
More Eastern Kali traditions also makes it, so I think there must be hoodoo roots as well. So again, a lot of these traditions, especially witchcraft, all came from whatever they had around them at the time.
And like sand, I think sand still has connections with abundance, because you've got like amazing grains of sand, and so that's probably more like European, Celtic European, Irish Celtic, because there were like all rocky beaches, like rocks, whatever is good for you. And I do think working with your lineage is important, because again, you need to believe it, you need to feel it in your body. It needs to be something that you can like feel physically coming in. You need to be able to like imagine what that is going to look like, or pretend that you see it in your bank account. There are all those kinds of manifestation techniques, right? Like being able to like act like it's already happened. So doing things that really resonate with you, I think, is for sure important. I like the idea of also, I guess if you weren't wanting to do a money bowl, or you didn't have the space for it, say you live in a share house and you have your bedroom and there's not a lot of space, or it doesn't feel like it's in an expansive area, what could be cool is like an evergreen abundance oil, or like money oil that you kind of continually add things to, and then use the oil on yourself or in spells or rituals or workings, or anointing candles and then doing a candle ritual with it every week or every month. Like say you sit down and go through all your finances, you light a candle that you anointed with your money oil, and you can keep topping that up as you go, and working with this kind of jar of oil as your money bowl. Like that could be a really cool idea as well. Hey there, it's Hannah here, and I wanted to first thank you for tuning into today's episode. I hope you're really enjoying the conversation so far. I wanted to take a quick moment to let you know that if you're looking for more personalised support on your health or spiritual journey, I do offer one-on-one sessions. In my practice, I work as a clinical and intuitive naturopath and herbalist, offering holistic consultations focused around herbal medicine, naturopathic care, and flower essence therapy. I also offer intuitive card readings where we can explore what's unfolding in your life and look at supportive herbal and lifestyle guidance alongside the cards. My approach is always centered on meeting the whole person where they're at, supporting your physical health while also honoring the emotional, energetic, and spiritual layers of well-being. All my sessions are held online, so you can join in from wherever you are in the world. And if that sounds like something you'd like to explore, you can find more information or book a session through the link in the show notes or by visiting hannahforrest.com.
And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, you are the altar. Like, you are the entire energy of everything that you need. You are the alchemist. You've got it all already.
Mm-hmm.
So making a money oil and anointing yourself with that and that energy, anointing your wallet, anointing your bank cards, anointing anything that, you need to use it for to bring more money in, or even like if you wanted to anoint some of your bills and be like, paid, even if you haven't paid them yet, yep, this is going to get paid.
Yeah.
The
I
other
like
thing
that idea.
I forgot to mention was all of this pothos hanging out behind me. I usually have plants growing in and around the money bowl because I think it's important to have growth. So again, this is an association that I've got with it. Also, they're green and yellow. So I was
exactly.
like,
I was just thinking and their pothos specifically grow. Like everybody knows they just grow and they, can grow in just about anything.
Yeah.
And any condition, and they're one of the easiest plants to care for, and you can snip a bit off and more will grow.
They're all just sitting in water, which all need to top up right now. But that's where they sit. They just sit and they use up that water, they use up the nutrients. I'm not feeding them anything else. It's just they're pinging off the energy, and there's so much of it, and they were just small little cuttings. So using plants, like live plants, if you don't, have a huge pantry full of stuff that you want to utilize, get yourself a little pot of basil. Get yourself some marigolds. Get whatever it is that you're looking at and you're like, oh, that's so abundant, especially Chinese New Year. There were marigolds everywhere. So I'm lucky enough to live near what I call Little Vietnam, because it's just this beautiful little town center with a huge Vietnamese community. So when it was Chinese New Year, they had pallets and pallets and pallets of like marigolds as high as like my chest. I've never seen them so big, and
that's huge.
The huge blooms on them were spectacular. And it's all to bring abundance, all to bring good fortune for the year of the horse. And also, this is a good year to be making some money, which is also insane with what's happening with the global financial markets because of all of the other things going on. But we're witches. We'll do what we got to do.
Yeah. And I think the witches are nothing if not proactive. Like we tend to
be
like, okay, this is what I'm going to do about it. It's not really a passive kind of tradition. And I actually wrote an article. You talk about basil. I wrote an article for the Botanical Anthology magazine on basil for abundance. And in there, I talked about putting a basil leaf in your wallet. So you can also do things like that. Again, if you don't have the space for a money bowl, or it feels like something you don't really want to do, you don't want to keep up with it, refreshing like a leaf of basil or mint in your wallet can be an easy way to call in a bit more money as well.
Also, I was going to say the herbs that are used predominantly with like abundance, if you look through history, you'll find that they were really, really sought after plants during the spice trades. So that whole spice trail through Europe, through to India, like it was cinnamon, it was cloves, it was, these really exotic spices that ended up costing like more than their weight in gold. So that's usually what I find. There's a very strong correlation between that period of time versus what we use now and what the records show with what is an abundant herb. So yeah, literally, not that I would recommend going to Coles or Woolies for all of your herbs supplies, but if you're low on money and you want to do something like this, literally go get a little jar of cloves. Go get some cinnamon.
I love like the import stores, or like
absolutely,
like Sunlit, those kind of
I go
kind
to the
of grocers.
Store. I go to the Indian stores.
Spices are so affordable, and they come in much bigger packets.
Yes, absolutely.
And cinnamon. So many moons ago, Ellene and I used to do back when Instagram lives were a big thing, which they're kind of not as big anymore, but when they first were a big thing, we did Witchy Wednesdays, and they're still on my grid, so you can go back and watch them. If you really want to scroll back, you can scroll back and find them, because they would have been like a grid post, not a reel back then. And so you used to be able to save them to your profile. And So there are the Witchy Wednesdays there, and we talked about cinnamon, and cinnamon is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite spices or herbs to eat. Cinnamon on everything. Like when I make this toast with almond, and I've been doing this for again like a decade. Like almond butter and honey or rice malt syrup, and like I just literally get the jar of cinnamon and I just go like that all over it, and then I spread it all on there and make like this paste, and then I put banana on top, and it's like one of my favorite things to eat. It's delicious. I would eat it for dessert.
An idea come through, which is I didn't actually put them together. So I do this thing for breakfast where I like to have what I call a bougie breakfast, but now I'm realizing that that's just an edible money bowl.
Yes, I was just getting to the food thing. Yeah. So what do you add to your breakfast money bowl?
Depends on what the
hemp
day
seeds
calls for. Well,
saffron.
Well, yeah, that again. Simmer pots, soups, stews. Again, anything like that is also really amazing. But for my bougie breakfast today was my homemade sourdough into French toast with organic frozen blueberries. And
maybe I saw a picture of this on Instagram.
I posted it.
Okay.
You're not having some sort of weird flashback. It existed. It was amazing. And some other shit that I put on there. And I just sat down and I was just so happy, so grateful. And I'm like, sourdough costs people like $10, $12 a loaf. I make it for next to nothing. But
Frankette Bakery up here is like $18 a loaf. I'm not even kidding you. It's wild. And people line up out the street every weekend
to get robbed.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Anyway, I don't want to yuck
yes, rich life, yeah.
Yeah.
Abundance, yeah.
The blueberries, they were frozen, but they're organic and they're delicious. The honey is from a local source. Honey is also a really great thing, full of abundance as well. But I wouldn't recommend just fucking wasting honey everywhere. Like, it's sacred. And yeah, eggs.
The way you go through it, it's like it's going out of style.
No, but Ellene I honor
would
it.
Bathe in honey if she had enough of it.
I really love it. So like that to me is like, that's a very bougie breakfast for me. And it's the time and effort and the intention that went into making it. It was nice, it was chilling, I was listening to my music, and I sat there and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. And that to me was really a beautiful way of actually celebrating the ingredients, celebrating myself, nourishing myself, because breakfast can be a real bitch sometimes. But when you actually sit down and give it some time and love, how is that not a money bowl? How is that not full of fucking abundance?
Yeah, and I mean, money bowls are just one aspect of money magic, abundance magic. There's so many other things you could do. Again, like kitchen witches, yes, absolutely. Food, spices is going to be your avenue. Whether you incorporate it into a bowl like that or whether you do it through food. Again, I love the way, to stir your food, jostle to cool stuff in. That's more of a, not so much a U term, it's more of a Wiccan type of term. But, basically clockwise. You stir clockwise to cool something in. So like say you're making like my apple pie oats, which I'm going to put the recipe up soon for like paid subscribers on Substack, because people ask me all the time for my recipes. So I'm starting to like actually write them down and share them. But I think it's somewhere saved to my story highlights too, somewhere. And so like I use apple and cinnamon, and you could use honey, and you could use like all of those kinds of things. You could even use like a little bit of allspice or what have you. Star anise if you really want to get you love the taste of licorice, so you wouldn't mind that. But anything like that.
Ouzo is a money shot, is what I'm hearing. This is my little shot of abundance is ouzo. Done. Perfect. Happy.
There you go. So, like, and stir it clockwise and just speak a prayer or, burn something under the flame if you really want to. Whatever you want to do, whatever feels good for you to, cool that in and then eat it.
Yeah.
And like, what better? You're actually putting it into your body. Like, great.
Absolutely. And also it's tangible. Like, I think that's the thing when it comes to these sort of rituals, is the whole point is the tangibility of something. So I like the money bowl for that, because it's a focal point. The same thing as you put anything on your altar, it becomes a focal point for whatever it is that you're calling in or asking for or whatever. And putting a candle in there for that aspect can be really handy. Just one of the smaller wish candles, and letting that go all the way down, and then replacing it and giving it lots of energy. And that's something I definitely am crap, because if it's not directly like in front of me, I will forget about it. So have it somewhere where you're going to go past it, where it's relevant to the work that you're doing, that you're wanting. If you've got a pile of friggin' bills and stuff like that, I know bills don't always come in paper anymore, but you know what I mean. Have it somewhere where you're going to go and actually take care of it. I like putting it in the kitchen as well, because again, that is where I do a lot of my work. Not my work with my clients, for anyone listening. I do my work in the office, but my housework, my living, a lot of that is done in the kitchen. So it works really well there for me. But yeah, that's
and then like, I'm just thinking back to the cinnamon thing. Like, there's those cinnamon brooms people have in the United States and Canada. Those are awesome. Have you seen those?
No, I think they mean the little ones instead of broom made out of cinnamon.
No, they're a little bit bigger. They're like kind of, well, the ones I've seen are about yay big, and they are not with the quills. It must be like the sticks of the cinnamon tree.
Yeah, right.
And they smell amazing. We went to a Trader Joe's, and it was coming into kind of Halloween season, and they smelled so good. I was gutted I couldn't bring any back. I did say to Chris, is there any chance we get this back through customs? And he was like, there's
not
zero
chance.
Well, it depends on the person who's on, but no, that was really pushing my luck.
Even I wouldn't push that one.
Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out how we could make them here, because they smell so good, but like something like that. And then, yeah, just the refreshing thing. So when people are refreshing their money bowls, if people are curious, I might actually share that reel again I actually think I reposted it on my Instagram. So hannahforrest.herbalist, that little repost thing that like sticks it in the repost section. I reposted it. So
I didn't know what that did. I was like, what is this button that they've added that they didn't tell me about?
I know. So when you hit it, it goes a little tick in it, and it means it's reposted it. And if you go on your profile, there's like grid posts, reels, and then the reshares.
There you go.
And so, yeah, I reshared it on there, so you can go see it, but I'll probably share it to my stories again, like the day this comes out, if I remember to. Or maybe I'll put the link in the show notes or something so you can watch. But basically dismantling it, cleaning it, wiping the bowl, anointing the bowl with oils if you want to,
incense,
smoke clearing it if you want to do that. Yeah, he used a stick of incense. A lot of people, that seems to be really big right now, is using a stick of incense to cleanse things, which I've
seen that a lot. And again,
like all the time.
Sure, you're using smoke, it's all G, and that incense is cheap as chip, so it checks out. But
that's never been my go-to. I get it for the tiny, it used to be that people would use it for those tiny little spell bottles, which I understand because it fits in there. But now it seems to be like the go-to for everybody to use for everything. I still like a good piece of like raw herb. That's my kind of favorite way. Yeah. And again, we don't just have to be using white sage. That's a whole discussion that, I could go on a rant about and have before several times. But, work with a herb or a plant that is sacred to you. And so for you, like, you could use a resin of some kind.
Absolutely.
For me, like lavender or rosemary are great. I love cedar as well. There's just so many different ones you could choose to cleanse your bowl with. And then, also, like some crystal chips or rice.
Like,
oh, yeah. Well, he definitely started with that, soap and water to actually physically clean it.
Keep it simple. Allow it to be something that it's channeled, so you don't have to overthink it. We're just listing some options here, but when it comes to whatever you're going to do, if you do something that we haven't listed, you haven't fucked it up. Just go with the flow. It's the flow of money. We want to get you into that energy of like, oh yeah, this is nice, this is juicy. I use the word juicy because it's delicious. Being fully resourced, through whether it's your own business or in life in general, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And then allowing yourself to play with what that would feel like and what you live as if that's the energy that you want to create the bowl from. So yeah, we'll list a bunch of things, but you do you at every frigging point.
For sure. And so, like, if you're getting rid of wax, you might choose to throw it out. Maybe if it's like, especially if it's a synthetic candle, wouldn't recommend it. But if that's what you have to use, then that's what you got to use. We're not judgy witches here. Like, you do what you have available to you. Especially a lot of people go and they thrift them at the op shop, which is great too, because otherwise they're just sitting there getting wasted forever. So if you are okay with burning those kind of candles in your home, you could use ones that you've thrifted and then discard that. If it's beeswax, you could return it to the earth. You could, probably turn it into another candle if you really wanted to, especially if it's going back into the money bowl. Again, that kind of like continual flow on effect. Like if you can take parts of it and bring it back to the money bowl. Yeah. Cleansing, charging crystals, putting them back in, that kind of thing. Great. And then, you might, put your sigils back on it, all that kind of stuff, reset it. Maybe you've learnt something new since you did it last, or you found something you wanted to try. You can incorporate that. But basically just you're cleaning it, clearing it out, and then putting things back into it. But anything that's like compostable, you can put back into the earth, put it in your compost pit, what have you, or you can just throw it out. Especially if you feel like something happened to it that's a bit weird, which surely with a money bowl not, but sometimes it happens. And so that's all about that on money bowls, I think. Do you have any like big things you wanted to mention about like abundance magic or like other spellcraft or rituals that you love for calling in money and wealth?
Do something it sounds very simple and silly, but also makes me unbelievably happy. Is I celebrate all of my wins, my little teeny weeny wins, no matter how small, they get celebrated just as much as the big ones. That's mainly so that I can about expanding your capacity, about expanding your nervous system, be able to hold the big wins. Because if you're just dismissing all the little ones and only trying to focus on the big things, you end up missing all this amazing abundance around you. So when I get a client who books in, when I get someone who signed up to a container, when I posted something that, I really fucking like, regardless of how it lands with anyone else, I give myself a little treat. It doesn't have to be something I purchased, it can be something that I have at home. But when it is something like the other night, I had this incredible client that I knew would be perfect for this container. She signed up and I was like, yes. And, there's so much that goes into that. There's so much energy that's been set. And there is going to be money coming in because of it. But this is such a reciprocal relationship. Like, yes, I'm receiving money, but she's also receiving so much value. And it was so exciting for me to be able to offer that. So I poured myself a bowl of kefir that I made.
So we've said this before, but where your attention goes, your energy flows, and it's true. What you're choosing to focus on is where your energy is going to flow to. And so if you're focusing on that like that lacking space, that not enough kind of scarcity mindset, that unfortunately, which again, it's always nuanced and it's always complicated, and it's never discounting the fact that, like some people don't have a place to sleep tonight, and that's obviously going to be something on your mind. But for those of us who are able to and are resourced enough and have the opportunity to have the choice as to where our energy is going, then great. And, think about it. Like, think about what you're focusing on through the day, all those like little thoughts that pop up time and time again, that maybe we could work on deprogramming or reprogramming, rewriting that narrative that is in your head. And again, thinking about where your attitudes towards money, wealth, finance, success come from. Like, are they actually even yours? Or were they passed down to you from your parents, from your ancestors, even grandparents, especially, like great grandparents? There's a huge money story there, right? Like there's a huge.
And then you've got the immigrant families as well, and what scarcity and what they left, behind, and what they came here to do. So they came here for money. They came here to feed themselves and their families, and then there becomes a big story around self-sacrifice and money and intergenerational wealth or the lack thereof, whatever it may be. And I think I had this really great point that I was just about to make, and then it just went out the door.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah. It'll come back at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Probably. I was researching for some other work the other day, and I came across this fashion blogger because I was doing research for Renew Bohemian, if you know who, my kind of other work that I do with my friend Brooke. And so I was researching some fashion bloggers and sustainable fashion bloggers. I just want to be clear about that. Die hard, sustainable small business person over here. But one of them had been interviewed on like a TV show or a podcast, and it was so interesting because she was talking about, she's from a Chinese family, I think, and she was talking about how, and I don't know the full context of the story, but basically her parents asked her to buy a home for them and the whole family to live in when she was like very early, like 20. And she had built herself a business and was able to afford it, but she said that it actually really impacted like her mental health and like, you know, her attitudes around money, because she felt like that was a really huge responsibility, which it is, to have to put that money that you'd worked so hard for into something for other people, and it was an expectation, not something that you necessarily chose to do. And she's like, I don't regret it because it's something my family needed and they asked me, and I, you know, was happy to oblige in that sense because I love my family. But she's like, the pressures of that is something that has taken me years to kind of work through. And she's glad she has the property now. She knows it's a good investment, but there was still all of that emotional stuff that came with it, that she's had to work through and process, you know, in the years following that. And so it's huge. And I know for myself, you and I have talked about it, but like I actually have this fear of success because I went through a massive period of burnout when I was quite young. And that meant that success to me means that you're busy all the time, which again, there's a whole new culture surrounding wealth and success these days, and taking a more matriarchal, feminine approach to finance and wealth, where we don't have to hustle all of the time, work smarter, not harder, right? Get the energetics right, and the money will come in the way that it needs to. But that's something that I'm now reprogramming, within myself to be able to have those attitudes right for, you know, financial success. And so, yeah, I think where you're coming from with that makes a huge difference in how you're going to work with money and what kind of, you know, money success you'll have.
The point I was going to make before was be delusional. Like be unhinged and delusional about your money goals, your success, your prosperity, your wealth. Be literally fucking unhinged. Because if you're going to sit there and literally just count the coins and live in that reality of this is all I have, then that is all you're going to have. And we want to literally expand your capacity to be able to hold more. So let's open you up a bit more to hold more. That doesn't mean you go out and buy a Ferrari if you've got a little Barina budget. It still means you have to be somewhat logical in the real world, but it's like, yeah, I just know this is temporary. I know that there's so much more coming to me, and you be delusional about that. You know, you want to be earning 5K months, 10K months, 50K months, whatever it may be, whatever your delusion is, do it. But also, like we were saying before, it's going to need inspired action.
Yeah.
So you can't just sit here and be like, gimme, 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 and give nothing. So be delusional, but also then be delusional in your action. Like just fucking go out there and do it.
And I think like that matriarchal kind of feminine approach to wealth too, it's it's statistically proven that women invest significantly greater portions of their income back into their communities.
Yeah.
And you know, that's something that's been pretty well established in the magical community too, that money is a circular thing. Again, it's that flowing water thing. Like, you know, you can even picture the water cycles where we have, you know, water evaporated up, it turns into rain cloud, it rains on you, and then goes back into the waterways eventually, filters to the earth, goes back into the waterways, and then it rains on you again. That's a very simplified version of that. But just to show you that it is cyclical, just like women, right? And so being able to also, even if you maybe aren't hitting every money goal, if you are able to, whether it's time or money or food, or if you're able to, I think, give back to people as well, as freely as you can within reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then that also helps too. I've always been a big believer in that.
Also, my bank accounts, so they're all named something. So I've got, I think one of them is called Business Alchemy. My spendings is circulation. That's the one where the money circulates. And then my savings is abundance.
Yeah.
So like that's how it is in my head. It's not business, savings, and spendings because, or boring. it has to be anchored in with that energy. And I think that's exactly why I'm moving into and have moved into energetic business strategy, because to have women, to have healthy, first of all, to have healthy women would be incredible, but to have healthy, wealthy, prosperous women on this planet who hold this level of magic, oh my God, the changes that ripples out into for them, for their families, for their communities. The communities then go on to the wider community outside of that. Like, it has such a flow-on effect. Again, water is synonymous with money. It would be crazy. Look at what's happening in the world with all the money in the hands of the crazy men. Yeah. And I'm not a feminist. I'm not sitting here going, men can't do anything. But I'm just saying, if we give that expansive energy that women innately hold, you give them semen, they turn it into a human. You give them a building.
Again, another beautiful graphic image. But
true.
yes.
You give them 4 walls and they make a home. They're expanders. Women are these amazing expanders. So you give them money and they're going to nourish themselves. They're going to feed their families and their communities. And for fun. Not even because they have to, because it literally will give them joy. I'm not saying people cook and clean for fun, but that's up to you. But it's like you literally get to just blow that old, oh no, I'm just a little woman. You know, I just need enough. I just need enough to cover my bills.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No. You want more than enough. You want overflow. And there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a story that a lot of us are coming to now and like having to work through. And there's one word I just wanted to come back to that you mentioned, which was resourced. And that is, again, something I'm integrating into my own life where, you know, I come from a family where they're very generous, very giving, very hardworking. And I do believe in hard work. I think that it's okay to work hard sometimes. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. Do I think we should be killing ourselves working? No. But I don't think that investing your time and energy into something that you're passionate about is a bad thing at all. And, you know, there's also like misconceptions around hard work. I mean, look, it's a complex world we live in. But, you know, being resourced, it's okay to be resourced and we need to be resourced. And so I'm learning to work with that energy where it's like, okay, I want to give to people. I want to give information. I want to give education. That's a huge thing for me. I love sharing knowledge with people, even on platforms like this, that's easily accessible. I really want people to be able to access good stuff in the world because there's so many people who can't. And so I just, you know, or are limited in some way. And so much stuff is gate kept and there's, you know, I want people to be able to access it if they're not in a position to pay loads of money or spend loads of time, you know, or drive to a place to watch a seminar or what have you. But also I need to be resourced to be able to continue doing that work because otherwise I can't pay my bills and that doesn't help anybody. And it means that I can't actually help those people and make care more accessible or knowledge, information, education more accessible for people. It's like putting your own seatbelt first.
That's it.
Or
your mask on first.
Face mask. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that you have oxygen so that you can then go and help other people get the oxygen that they need. And being in that level of abundance means that, you know, you actually feed yourself the way that you're supposed to. Like, we're not even talking about, I get to jet set around the world, which by all means, if you've got all that money, please do. Go see the world. It's incredible. But it's like...
And also, if you can't, then you don't need to. Like, you know, like, it's whatever's works for you.
Yeah, and it's also whatever you value. Like, that's the other thing that we didn't really touch on is, what do you value? So, Taurus rising over here, I value, like, I'm not big on brands. I couldn't give two flying fucks on what brand you're wearing or what I should be wearing or what anyone else is wearing. But I love food and I love creating good food. I value nutrition. I'm a freaking naturopath and I'm Greek. So, like, I value food so much. It means so much. Spending time. I don't want to go out to I like food, but I don't want to go out to the latest restaurant. Like, I'd like to have people over. I'd like to cook something for them. I'd like to go to their house and really value the time that they've put into that. So when I'm talking about abundance, I find that when I'm sitting more in that energy, I get all this extra time with my husband. I get these wonderful experiences where I get to spend more time with my friends. Like, it opens up with what I value, which is time, and food. Time and deliciousness. So really anchoring to what do you value? Where do your values lie? Because if your value isn't, like, if you don't value the work that you do, you might find that your hours get cut. And then you'll freak out because you're not getting enough money. But the universe is like, yeah, but you don't value it. There's no value here. It's not giving you that same kick. So then this is what I mean by alignment. Going, yeah, I want more money. Okay, well, the scale's got to get balanced. You're going to make sure that all of that is all in alignment. So we started off talking about a freaking bowl, and it's branched out into all these different places, because anything with witchcraft or rituals or spells or energy work is so nuanced, because we as individuals are so multidimensional that you can't just stick a freaking plastic bowl and put a straw in it and be like, ta-da.
Yeah. I know Back on the Broomstick podcast did a really good, just in case people are looking for additional resources, they did a really good episode. Though when I went back to try to re-listen to it, I couldn't find it. So it's there somewhere, but it's not called, I don't think it's called like Money Bowl Ritual or anything like that. So if you find it, let me know which episode it was, because it's maddening that I can't find it again. And then is it Hannah, who's the Suburban Witch? Do you know Suburban Witch? Anyway, she doesn't do podcast episodes anymore. Stuff. She's Australian, but she did a really good one too. And then your mate Rhiannon from Spiritual Toolbox, you were mentioning. So she does a lot on TikTok in particular, but also on Instagram. And I actually saw one of hers the other day, reel, where she was doing a money bowl for her business, because she owns a witchy shop, like an actual brick and mortar. And so she's like, this is what you do at work when you're in a witchy shop. You do money bowls for the business. And that's also, as you said, you do one for your business. Lots of witches do that for their physical brick and mortar business, for their digital business. And that's cool too, to have the two different ones if you want to, or just do one for your business because that's what feels right for you. But there's some people you could go and check out if you want more additional resources on this, or to actually see people like doing it in a video or something, if that's helpful for you and you're a visual person, you want to actually see someone put one together. But thank you so much for coming on and talking about this with me. And this is what I think I was hopeful for with these kinds of episodes, is that they're just more real, and we can just chat about whatever we want, and we don't have to stick to a list of questions or anything like that. We can just share what is on our hearts, what messages get shared with us. Like, it just comes out and people can hopefully enjoy it.
I'm always up for a chat, babe. You know that.
Yeah, and we've been meaning to make this happen for so long. So again, for anybody who's been going, Ellene, episodes with Ellene, then I hope this just like fulfilled your every desire, and you are at peace now that you had another chat with Ellene. And so if you enjoyed this episode and you think that Kitchen Table Chat's going to be for you, please give us some feedback. Like, let us know. We want to hear from you. And if you do a money bowl or a money spell, we also want to hear from you.
Definitely.
Ellene, how can people best find you if they want to connect with your work?
Oh, I pretty much live on Instagram. Outside of the real world, that's where you'll find me. DM me. I'm always there. And if I'm not, it won't be long. So Temple of Ellene, just as it is, with a couple of dots in between. Hannah will attach all the information. I also have a website, which is templeofellene.com. And that's probably the easiest way to get hold of me. I do lots of different things. So
right now you've got your one-on-one sessions, and then you've got some containers where you're working with people in group settings, correct? Yes,
actually, the two big containers here that would actually fit in perfectly with this podcast. Not to spruik myself at all, but here we go.
No, please do. Please, this is the time. Spruik away.
Thank you. I was going to do it anyway, but thank you. I've got the Temple of Her Return, which is for my business baddies, literally like getting everything into alignment for your business energetically as well as strategically, and really finding that alignment. It sounds so naff. I completely know how it sounds, but it's like, if your personal life and your business are clunky, this is the space you want to be in. If you've been in business for ages, if you're a practitioner, a healer, whatever your modality may be, if you're a woman in business and you have been working your ass off, but essentially still spinning your wheels, whether it's with content, whether it's with money, whether it's with clients, whether it's with consistency, this is the container for you. I've got some incredible women that have stepped into it, and I am so blessed because we're all going to be growing our businesses together. And there's some really amazing bonuses as part of that. We're doing, like Hannah, you'll completely appreciate this. We're doing quarterly flower essences.
Oh, very nice.
So we're fully working with the subconscious and the conscious to really nut out those blockages for ourselves in business. And because I'm a sucker for punishment, I'm going to do the flower essences alongside the girls as well, because
of course
there'll be layers
there for me as well.
Gotta
walk your talk
every time. And the other one is the overflow experience. So Temple of Her Return is a group mastermind for business, and then the overflow experience is my one-on-one. So it's just me and you, high proximity. We do a session every month. We do a clearing every month, so you get extra, and you're in Telegram with me every day of the freaking week. So if you've got some real-time things going on, we can really get it out rather than waiting that whole month to the next session. So you're really held, you're really supported, and you pretty much have this cosmic bestie in your pocket anytime you fucking need
it. And we all need a little Ellene in our pocket.
We do. And then I have my one-off session. So if you just wanted to test the waters and be like, what is this bitch about? Book a one-off, have a chat with me on Insta, whatever works. I'm pretty easygoing.
Also, again, like I just can't speak highly enough about pendulum clearings. I always rave about them. And I've referred so many clients to you over the years, and they've loved them too. So there are some ways you can work with Ellene if you want to, which of course you do, and places to find her. And again, links will be in the show notes. If you have ideas of future episodes you want us to do together, talk about, official or unofficial,
I'll talk about anything. It's fine. I don't need to have an educated opinion. I'll just have an opinion.
We could talk all day long. But thank you so much, Ellene, for coming on. It was so great to chat. First episode together in season 5. And yeah, we'll have to do another one soon.
Anytime, babe. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. See ya. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Your support means the world to me, and if you have a free moment and would like to leave a review, a comment, or a rating on your platform of choice, that would go a long way towards helping me to grow the podcast and reach more people. If you aren't already subscribed, check out my Substack newsletter. Over there, I share lots of free resources, as well as an option to join as a paid subscriber, which is another beautiful way you can support my work. May what you've heard today guide you in living a little more slowly and a little more connected.